How desperate has the Ukrainian leadership become that it's now leaning on the very man President Volodymyr Zelensky once openly despised for protection? Just weeks ago, we saw a political scene few could have imagined. Zelensky, Donald J. Trump, and J.D. Vance sitting down together at the White House. It was surreal. But what followed? Absolute chaos. The meeting erupted into blame games, high tension, and outright insults. Zelensky repeatedly was almost shoved out the door. And since that diplomatic disaster, Kyiv has been panicking. With Trump back in power and unpredictable as ever, Ukraine's ruling elite are unsure who will protect them or their black market operations. If Trump gives Putin the green light to go full force, the fear in Kyiv is palpable. So, what did Zelensky do? He caved, not just diplomatically but strategically. He gave Trump what he wanted most, a share in Ukraine's mineral wealth. US clinches a rare earth deal. After months of tense back and forth, the US and Ukraine have signed an economic partnership agreement. In exchange for American investment and support in Ukraine's reconstruction, Washington will now gain access to Kyiv's valuable critical mineral. These include rare earth minerals, resources that has been on America's radar for years, especially with China's dominating global supply. The deal, signed just months after Trump's return to office, is being framed as more balanced than earlier drafts. Future US military aid will now count as part of America's investment into joint fund, a change from previous version that asked Ukraine to pay back past assistance. Trump, never one to miss a moment of self praise, called the agreement a move to protect American contributions. He even claimed the US has given Ukraine $350 billion, a wide exaggeration, considering the real figure sits closer to $120 billion per the Kyle Institute. Initially, Zelensky resisted fiercely, saying the early protocols were like asking him to sell his country. But the tide turned after their last Oval Office spat in February, which led to Trump's halting aid to Ukraine. That stunt woke up European allies, but it clearly rattled Kyiv. Now, with the deal done, Ukraine's economic minister Yulia Saradenko insists the minerals still belong to Ukraine and that subsoil right remains under national control. But let's be honest, when you are making concessions under pressure, claiming full sovereignty feels hollow. The US Treasury is calling the deal a historic economic partnership, wrapping it in hopeful language about peace and recovery. But the optics are clear. Trump wanted something in return for years of support, and Zelensky, cornered and isolated, halted it over. Ukraine, for all its military courage, has been quietly eyeing the West for safety net. The country's vast mineral resources, 22 of 50 deemed critical by the US Geographical Survey, were always going to be the West's bargaining chip. This deal just confirmed what many suspected. Ukraine's war economy is now up for negotiation. The shining also came right after a peculiar meeting in Rome where Trump and Zelensky met on the sidelines of Pope Francis' funeral. Though seated apart at the Vatican, the symbolism were strong. Peace talks are in the air, and Zelensky is now speaking from a much weaker position. It's not hard to guess what happens next. Zelensky, stripped of leverage and forced to play nice with Trump, may soon have to come to terms with the one thing he has resisted for years: peace. Or at least a version of it shaped by Trump and perhaps indirectly by the Putin. Make no mistake, this isn't diplomacy out of strength. It's submission out of necessity. And while the headlines may call this a partnership, the truth is simpler. Zelensky blinked. The mineral deal is not just an economic pact. It's a symbol of leaders running out of options and out of time. If peace is indeed coming, one thing's certain: it won't come on Zelensky's term, and maybe, just maybe, it's time he step aside before his game drag Ukraine even further into abyss. Thank you.